Welcome back to the Gold Creek Extended Cut podcast. My name is Nick. I'm the pastor at Gold Creek, and this is a podcast where we dive a little bit deeper into the weekend message. We have a dear friend. I have a dear friend. He's not your friend, I don't think.
Who knows?
Well, actually,
we did run into a friend today.
But we'll cut. This is Jesse.
What's up, guys?
So Jesse is the lead executive pastor. I think I get that right, at a church called Flatiron. It's a great church. Actually, I was thinking about how we met the first time. There's this event where pastors come to a ranch in Colorado. And we were roommates. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, it was before your time here. We were roommates and didn't really know each other.
Didn't know each other at all. And,
the best way to have a roommate, you don't even know who they are.
Well, and it's weird. It's like fun in college, I feel like.
Sure.
And even maybe right after, but like into your 30s.
Yeah.
Like,
using the same bathroom as somebody else, you're just like, this is more awkward than
do I sleep with a shirt on? I don't know.
That was great. No, I remember just like my takeaways were like, you were solid, just a solid man. You loved did you have kids? That would have been like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah. I had one kid.
You had one kid. That's right. And so we were all just surviving up there, and you were working at SEU before Gold Creek.
Yeah, man.
Here you are, just
tell us if you were going to give us like the 30-second thing on Flatiron. So I'm guessing people don't know much about it. I know it because I'm a junkie, but tell us about the church.
Flatirons is a church in the Denver area. We got 5 campuses. The original location has been around for around 40 years near Boulder. So it was planted in Boulder. 2 small groups joined together to plant a church that could reach their friends because the church in Boulder was not doing that. And so that's kind of our heritage. We've always been a church that wants to reach lost and broken people who've got a story.
Another way is just to say people.
Yeah, just people, right.
People who know they're lost and broken, though.
Exactly. Yeah. And so what's nice is like we're not fighting huge battles about like carpet of the, like color of the carpet, all that, but like
spiritual gifts. People are like, what's that?
When people come in, they are far from faith. They're pretty bruised. And like I've done maybe 40 funeral services at Flatirons. And I think 2 of the 40 were old faithful Christians who died in their time.
Yeah.
And the rest were just hard to like middle-aged cancer to like kids. And so Flatirons is a church. We care about lost and broken people, Colorado, and
I love it, man.
Trying to figure it out.
That's the best. What a good, just like, you wish all churches would be like that. I mean, this is an unfiltered part of that. But like, I think all churches kind of are. But, when...
I don't think all churches are. I think that there are a lot of churches that are, but I don't think a lot of churches are.
Yeah.
We just hear too many stories about like...
Yeah.
When a group of people get entrenched around their preferences, get entrenched around just the relationships they have there, they stop caring about people from the outside. They stop wanting people to meet Jesus there. They want to preserve something. And I think that the heart of that is good, trying to preserve things that need to be preserved. But when it keeps people out, that's when there's a problem. That's what I was impressed with by Gold Creek, just to keep on going, is like, you could just tell. I had a conversation in the lobby with a man just going like, I feel like right now I'm pressed up against the Red Sea. Today we talked about the Israelites being stuck in between the army of Egypt and the Red Sea. And he's like, all I can see in front of me is the Red Sea. I have no idea what's going to happen. And so today I just need to believe that God's going to fight for me, that he's going to make a way through. And so like, I think, and I just saw this beautiful picture at Gold Creek of people who love outsiders, who want to see the gospel, because the gospel is just not something to, you don't bury it and you don't keep it to yourself. It's like, you don't cover the light on it. It's good news. You don't cover the light on the hill. And so I do think that churches are going one of 2 ways right now. Most churches that are growing are wanting to reach other people and are trying to hold preferences as loosely as they can, hold on to principles. But I do think that there are churches typically smaller who are atrophying and are just because they're so stuck in their ways.
Dude, and then there's a handful of churches that are almost aligning around fighting culture, but we don't have time to get into all that.
There's a lot there. There's plenty that
too much to get into, man. Well, yeah, man. No, thank you for. We did. I think it's the third week of our series, Pack the Essentials. and Jesse was walking through how God protects the people of Israel. One of the things you talked about, not spiritual, you talked about camping.
Sure.
Talked about camping.
Love camping.
Camping fail,
absolutely. We failed big time,
Yeah.
I changed my last name. My dad, if my dad was around, he would have disowned us at that point.
What have you had camping trips go well since then?
We have.
Okay.
So we still camp in Colorado. So we're going out in a couple weeks. We'll camp a few times this summer. And then I've taken my 2 oldest on a backpacking trip. I've taken the 2 boys on a backpacking trip.
Dude.
And we did not let that one time deter us.
Powered through.
We do not go when they say that they're a plague like mosquitoes. We heed those warnings now, because the one time we didn't heed the warning, we just got ate alive.
Dude, nothing. I mean, I don't like camp. I'm an amateur camper. But I will say there's nothing worse than being at the campsite and you're just swatting bugs for 4 days.
My son has a reaction to mosquitoes where his skin will swell. Like his eyes swelled, like his face. He was young. He was maybe 3 or 4 at the time, but his whole face was swelling up. Like that's where we made the right call to bail on this trip, as much as our dad would have been embarrassed by us. So,
speaking of your dad, one of the I thought powerful ways powerful things you talked about today was a story about your dad, and climbing Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
What else? Just because we got the time,
sure.
What is on the cutting room floor from that trip up Kilimanjaro? Good memories, bad memories, gross memories.
Sure. A couple fun things. We met a guy who had climbed Everest. He said he was doing the 7 summits.
Dang.
And so
what are those? Everest, Kilimanjaro.
The tallest peaks on each continent.
Okay,
and so
got it.
Denali, there are a couple. And so we're, and there are a lot of people like, I'm going to do the 7 summits. I'm starting with Kilimanjaro. And so we're like, oh, good for you, man. You're doing the 7 summits. And we're like, how many have you done so far? He's like, I've done 5. And we're like,
whoa.
Oh, so Kilimanjaro was the 6th. He was on Everest. Do you remember there was a story of a man who failed on Everest, and people were walking over him, not helping him get down because
he was too far gone. They thought he was
too far gone.
Yeah.
But he makes it on his own, and then the whole party feels terrible because they just walked over this guy. The guy that we met who had climbed Everest was one of those people who stepped over him. And this is code on Everest. It's code. It's like when you get to that point, it's every man against themselves. Like nobody has the strength to be able to help anybody else out. And so you need to mentally prepare. You might walk over somebody that needs your help.
A dear friend, and you're just you're going to die. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's either you die with them or they die and you make it down. And everybody kind of understands that. But this one guy makes it back down. And so all these people are filled with regret, filled with shame. So
was he pissed?
Oh, yeah. No, this guy, I mean, it was kind of a sad story because I remember sitting on, he was staying at the little hostel place that we were staying.
Okay.
And he's talking about the 7 summits and what he does for a living and all that. And he was like, we asked about family. He was like, yeah, I've got some kids and my wife and he was like, well, she wasn't a big fan of the 7 summits, so we're not together anymore. And I just remember just going Everest is cool, but
yeah, but I hope it was worth it.
That is just the things that we do in life that we think are more worth it than the most important things. And so that was something
that'll preach.
I would say climbing on the way down is when this story could just go on forever.
That's fine.
But I heard one of the guys, the porters, so you walk with porters, so they're carrying everything. So it's not real.
Those dudes are the animals.
These guys are climbing with 40 pounds on their head, just walking.
Twice a week?
Yeah. And one of them had a boombox that he's carrying. He's carrying this huge pack here, this boombox. And I faintly hear, this is the day of the descent. We go from 20,000 down to 10,000. And so you go up 4,000.
Frick.
You go 16 to 20 and then 20 down to 10 in one day. day because you're just trying to make it all the way down. And it's downhill walking.
Okay.
But like
10,000 feet.
You're like, by the end of that day, you're walking through, and I just remember, Gladiator, the scene where he's like touching the wheat and everything. Yes. I remember running my hands through this grass, just like feeling like Gladiator. I'm like, I think I'm dreaming right now.
Yeah. All that to heaven?
I hear this guy with a boombox, and I hear New England Patriots lose to New York Giants. And I was just like, is that real? Am I dreaming? And I tried to this was before we had internet access on phones or anything, but I remember it was when the Patriots went undefeated. I was a huge Indianapolis Colts fan.
Yes,
and so I wanted them to lose desperately.
Yes.
But nobody thought it was possible. And Dude. I hear about it on Kilimanjaro. I can't confirm it for 4 more days because we're in the middle of nowhere, Africa.
Dude. The helmet catch, David Tyree.
Magical moment. So,
Indeed.
So I found out about that on Kilimanjaro. There's more spiritual stuff, I'm sure, but that's kind of the things that track.
Could you sense a spirituality around the mountain? I know that's I'm sure Mount Kilimanjaro is a sacred place to tribes and people. Mm-hmm. Did it feel good, bad, or I'll be honest, I hate Utah. So so here we go.
I hate
Utah. It's beautiful, all that. Uh-huh. When we my wife and I, before we had kids, we did a cross country when we were moving from Seattle to Florida that time. We drove through all of Utah. So we stopped at Zion National Park, awesome. But just I felt like I could feel the spiritual heaviness there. And so
yeah, I don't think so. Don't think I noticed a spiritual aspect to it. And I think had I been of my right mind, at the top, I might have, because there's this accomplishment in for me, anytime I'm on top of a mountain, it just in a way draws me closer to God. I understand why
I feel even more guilty about not hiking after this.
I understand why cultures always look at mountains as special places. And then you think about have you read The Unseen Realm by Michael Heiser? Are you familiar with his work?
I know Michael Heiser.
But he talks about how there are gardens in the Bible and mountains. And mountains, if you read through it, tremendous things and powerful things always happen on mountains. And mountains are kind of where he would say the sons of God would live on the mountains. That's what they believed. And so I do believe there's something unique and special about it.
No doubt.
I was just not in my right mind when we were up there.
Yeah,
and then the thing that they don't tell you about hiking Mount Kilimanjaro is you're hiking with a group of 400 people.
400, bro.
So it's not like hiking out here where you're just I'm just going to go backpack over here.
Yeah.
It's there's a dedicated campground that you go to for day one, and then a dedicated campground. And so no matter when you start and when you finish, it's a line of 400 people who leave this campsite, go to this next one. And so you're just constantly surrounded by people.
That's crazy. I didn't think about that.
That for me was not... being surrounded by 400 strangers is not where I feel the presence of God.
Totally.
When I'm dealing with elevation sickness. So it was a good question, though.
Dude, that's... man, that's... Anyway. What have you climbed in Colorado?
I've climbed maybe 24, so 14,000 feet.
Yeah.
Peaks.
2 dozen, bro? We got one here. We got Mount Rainier.
Rainier is next level, so that is, from what I hear, a brutal climb.
It has a low summit rate because of the weather. But
I believe it. And you're hiking on snow for a good bit of it, right? Glaciers.
Yeah, there's all the crevasses. A lot of people die. Sure. I'm just saying, don't do it this afternoon.
My first one was Long's Peak, which is in the Front Range, but it's pretty hairy. There are a couple spots where if you're there's a lot of exposure. But I'm taking my son Gray. He's 14. He's going into high school, so this is his man year.
Come on.
And so we're doing some discipleship things, and then the end of it and the start of him becoming a man is what we call the test. He's got a trial. So he's got his definitions, his attributes of manhood that he's come up with.
Okay.
We worked on a list, and he picked 7. He's got definitions and scriptures for each that he'll recite. And then when we climb this mountain, we're climbing Mount Wetterhorn, though. And Wetterhorn is a smaller version of the Matterhorn. And so it kind of it's a class 3. It's pretty exposed. It's a staircase that you can't walk up. You've got to climb up.
We won't be roped in.
You
won't be roped in. No. All right.
It's enough that you like.
Yeah.
You can. And like, it's like you could be roped in anywhere in Colorado. Like on any mountain, you could be roped in because there's enough exposure to fall.
Yeah.
But you look at the difficulty plus exposure. And there's like decent difficulty on this one.
Okay.
But I don't want to say it's just a staircase. It's just a staircase.
Okay.
Who knows?
Okay. Okay.
My wife might listen to this after Gray and I perished, on Wetterhorn. And then, Kara, I'm sorry that I did that to you and the other kids.
He didn't mean to, Kara. I didn't mean to. Okay.
Maybe we should take ropes. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Bro, you're such a good dad. That's great. I'm like, man, what am I doing for my kids? I beat my older son in FIFA.
That's right.
I don't even like soccer, but I like beating him. So
who doesn't? That's why I don't play video games with my son. He's too good now, so I can't do that.
Good point, man. What you talked about your dad this morning?
Yeah.
What big question? What did your dad do so well for you that you're doing for your boys, and what's something you're not doing that your dad did?
My dad always acted like he wanted to be with us. And so, like, I think back, I know a lot of people who have dads who are in ministry.
Mm-hmm. And that was your dad, right?
My dad was in ministry. He was a pastor.
Okay.
Have a lot of baggage about how dad chose church instead of the family. And and what they took on was dad loved church more than the family. Yeah. And like, I look back to my dad and it's like, he had an intense job.
Yeah.
He worked a lot. Like my dad's rhythm was, he taught he was not a senior pastor, but it was a larger church. So he had like a adult Bible fellowship, ABFs. Do you know, are you familiar with those?
I have heard ABF.
He had one on Saturday, one on Sunday that he would teach. Dude. And he'd work, so he'd do church work and then teach those two. He'd work Monday through Thursday, and then Friday was his off day, and he'd be working on his message for the week. And so like he would just grind.
Sure.
He was busy.
Yeah.
And at the same time, like I don't remember my dad missing one of my soccer games.
Dang.
Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Dad's schedule would have made it to where he had to miss some of my games because like it just wouldn't, he was in India for 3 weeks during soccer season at one point.
Sure. Yeah.
But in my mind, I don't remember that at all because he was just always there. He always prioritized. And I realized like to the point of like, what am I not doing that dad was doing? I realized a year ago, I was like, I'm skipping too many games. And like, granted, our games are like some of the middle school games are at 2:00 in the afternoon. I'm like, you're killing me scheduling my kids' events. Like, got a slew of meetings, all this stuff. But I was just like, no, I'm going to cancel anything that I can to be at these games so that my kids just know, like, hey, dad wants to be with us. And what I hope let my kids know is like, hey, like, dad might have a busy schedule. He might come out to preach somewhere. He might be in meetings late at night, but dad wants to be home.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
good, man.
That's what I'm trying to do.
You get to bring is it your oldest? No.
No, she's my, one of our middle. So we've got 4 kids, 16, 14, 12, and 10. Brought the 12-year-old Kate, and she's with me.
Dude, that's fun.
Yeah. She desperately wants to fly first class. And we're heading to the airport. She's like, Dad, are we flying first class? I'm like, no, we are not flying first class. Like, but I will say, I looked on United's app.
Okay.
And the upgrade was like $50 to fly first class on the way home. And so she doesn't know this. I've told her, I was like, we can't do this. But I was just like, for this thing that like she'll think is the coolest deal. So we're flying first class on the way home. And she's just going to think it's awesome.
That is going to be epic.
And then she'll tell all of our kids and they'll all expect it. And,
Dad, looks like we're just renting out the Ford cabin now.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Dude, that's 4 kids and in this season, man, way to go.
You've got 2?
2, but 7 and 3.
7 and 3.
It's to the point where I'm like, I catch all the games, but I'm like, I could for sure miss one of these.
Sure. 7-year-olds playing any sport. Like, this is just 2 dads keeping it real right now.
Bro.
Like
painful, bro.
It can be tough to watch.
I had my first experience. David he just finished up flag football.
Okay.
And we had this, like, a kid on the other team who was pretty good. Actually, he was really good.
Sure.
But he had like a Caesar haircut. He was playing the role of the jerk.
Sure.
And I think kid was a jerk. And so after he like disagreed with the ref about this call, and so he was kind of getting in our team's face, and then he scored a touchdown, like threw the ball at one of our players, pushed him. And then so that kid, this was like a mixed league, so you had people from the burbs, and then you had people from the hood.
Okay.
He shoved a hood kid, which was a mistake, because the kid threw a right hook and socked him in the face. And then
it's getting real right now.
All the parents emptied out. So
isn't that crazy how quickly you can click on like... So what ended up happening? Were the parents having a melee?
Yeah, the parents were about to, so the kid who got shoved and then punched was the coach's son. So then the coach and all these parents were like having a jaw off, this like,
is amazing.
Tell him not to touch my kid, blah, 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 blah. And I will say there was like a little bit of, I don't believe in karma, I believe in grace. But if I did believe in karma, the kid who was a punk got like wiped out on like 4 plays later. And then
seriously?
He was like crying on the sideline. Poor kid. I hope he's okay. I think he's good. But then it was funny because I was asking my son about it later. I was like, dude, what? Seemed tense out there. Everything okay? He's like, yeah, he's just like kind of talking smack. Like the kids are fine.
Sure.
The parents?
Dude, like my daughter playing soccer, they're in the state championship game, and the other team took out the goalie, like brutal, dirty shot. I mean, took her out, her lip busted open. I mean, it was nasty. And the refs like call a foul, obviously, but then are not even carting her to start. And like, I was almost on the field, and it's like Claire's not even playing in the game. It's just, I'm like, what is wrong with me? But it took me back to like, it's time to go to war. So
this flares up, man. Yeah. Bro, well, thank you for being with us this weekend.
I loved being here. This is a great church, great people. The conversations I had in the auditorium in the lobby afterwards were just soul filling, and
come on,
yeah, man, just rooting you guys on, and cannot wait to see what God does here over the next months, years, and decades.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to just be the Northwest baby Flatirons.
Come on.
All right, man. Thanks for checking out GC Extended Cut. See you next week.